Hello crochet friends. Today we're going to be working on some spike hair, as you can see, for Kakashi. So a lot of anime characters have really spiky hair, and so I'm going to show you another way that we can do spiky hair. If you saw my last video for the hair for Naruto, he's got little shorter spiky hair, and I show you how to make that. Kakashi's hair here is a little bit different. It's got longer spikes, as you can see here. So I'm going to show you my method for crocheting that. For Kakashi and Naruto, I work their hair in strands, separate strands, because I find it easier to work with. Here I am using a silver Pima cotton blend. It is a little bit softer yarn, so if you see me sometimes struggling with the chains, if you're left-handed like me, sometimes the yarn kind of starts to unravel. What you want to do first is chain 60. Okay, so this is the foundation chain. We just chained 60 that we're going to work the spikes off of. The first one we're going to create by crocheting in the second chain from the hook, and we're going to do 8 crochets. After 8 single crochets, do 2 slip stitches in the foundation chain. Okay, now this is the part that's going to be a little confusing. We're going to work back along this. So I'm actually going to turn it, and I'm going to work back along this, the single crochets that we just did. So this time I'm going to do 7 single crochets. You don't need to do a chain 1 first. Just do 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, in that last space, you're just going to slip stitch. All right, and then we're going to turn it again. Now you're going to skip the first single crochet, and you're going to single crochet in the next one. So we're skipping that slip stitch, skipping the first single crochet, and then single crochet into the next one. And we're going to do 6 single crochet this time. Okay, when we get to the base of the single crochet, you're going to slip stitch back into your foundation chain. So you're looking at the next one right there, and you're going to do 2 slip stitch, 1, oops, sorry, slip stitch, not single crochet, 2. Okay, and that's going to be your first spike. Now starting from here, we're going to chain 9. Okay, and now the rest from here, it's pretty similar. I'm going to single crochet back along that chain, starting in the second crochet from the hook, or second chain from the hook, and do 8 single crochet. See, this is what I mean. This yarn sometimes gets a little bunched up, so I have to back up. And then 2 slip stitch into the foundation chain. Okay, turn the whole thing, so I'm working back along those single crochet that I just did. And this one will be 7 single crochet. And then slip stitch in that last one. Okay, turn it again. Skip that first slip stitch and skip the first single crochet and go into the second single crochet. This time 6 single crochet. Okay, and then 2 slip stitch into the foundation chain. And then I'm going to start that pattern over by chaining 9, and you can see we've got kind of a spike shape there. So we're going to follow this pattern along the rest of the foundation chain. So 9 chain 9, go back along it, 8 single crochet with 2 slip stitch, back across, 7 single crochet, turn it back down, 6 single crochet, 2 slip stitch. Do that all the way across. Okay, when you get to the end of the foundation chain, you can just fasten it off. Leave a long tail of about maybe 12 inches. You're going to use that to sew it on to the doll's head. The other tail that you from where you started, you can just weave that in. And you can see here I finished about 12 spikes on that one chain. It's pretty forgiving if you made a mistake. For example, if you didn't come out right at the end, that's okay. If one of these ended up being a little bit shorter than the other, it won't matter as much. It'll kind of get hidden when you sew it on. Now, the thing with Kakashi, I actually didn't make them all the same length. The ones here in the middle of the head are longer than the ones towards the end. If you can kind of see, that one's a lot shorter. I did the first strand, we started with chain 9. Then the next strand I did a chain 8. The next 2 strands I did chain 7, and then I did 2 strands of chain 6. So that would give you a total of 6 strands. If you feel like you need more than that as you're sewing them on, I would just have more of the shorter ones, the one that you do chain 6 for. Watch my other video for how to sew these on. You're going to start with the longest spikes, and you're just going to work in a spiral around the center of the head with about 1 row gap between them. And then you're going to go to the 8 chain 1, and then the 7 chain 1s, and the 6 chain 1s at the end. Now for Kakashi in particular, because he wears his headband like this, let me take this off. You'll see that his hair is a little uneven. He has more on this side, and I stop higher on this side, so it's kind of that direction. And that, if you look at pictures of Kakashi, that you'll see how that's how his hair is. So he's like that. All right, and check out my other video if you want shorter spike hair for something like Naruto, and also the video on how to sew on these strands. Thanks for watching.